Chapter 7, Section 2, Oxidation Number. Oxidation number means charge. So how to get the charge of elements in the compound? The rules are: rule number 1, oxidation number for element equal 0. Element means one type of atom. So for example, the oxidation number of iron. Iron, one type of atom, so the oxidation number is 0. Lithium, one type of atom, so the oxidation number is 0. Oxygen gas, regardless the number of atoms, still one type of atom, so the oxidation number is 0. S8, one type of atoms, so the oxidation number is 0, and so on. 2. Oxidation number for fluorine ion equal -1 in all its compounds. So if you have fluorine ion in any compound, the oxidation number is -1. For example, hydrogen fluoride, the oxidation number of fluorine is -1. Carbon tetrafluoride, the oxidation number is -1. Oxygen difluoride, the oxidation number of F is -1, and so on. Rule number 3, oxidation number for hydrogen ion equal +1 in all its compounds, except when hydrogen bonded to metal. So, when hydrogen bonded to metal, the metal has priority to carry the positive charge, so hydrogen carry negative charge. An examples here, water. Here the hydrogen bonded to non-metal, so the oxidation number is +1 for hydrogen. HCl, hydrogen bonded to non-metal, so the oxidation number is +1. Ammonia gas, hydrogen is bonded to non-metal, so the oxidation number is +1. Here, lithium hydride. Here in this example, hydrogen bonded to metal. So, when hydrogen bonded to metal, lithium is in group 1, it carry +1 charge, so the charge of hydrogen is -1. So in this rule, when hydrogen bonded to metal, the oxidation number equal -1. So again, when hydrogen bonded to non-metal, the oxidation number in all its compound is +1, except when hydrogen bonded to metal. So in this case, the oxidation number is -1. Rule number 4, oxidation number of oxygen ion equal -2 in all its compounds except two compounds, hydrogen peroxide H2O2 and oxygen difluoride. So for example, H2O, the oxidation number of oxygen equal to -2. OCl2, the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. Carbon dioxide, the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. Except these compounds. Why? Because according to rule number 3, when hydrogen bonded to non-metal, so the oxidation number is +1. So here in this compound you have 2 hydrogen atoms and 2 oxygen atoms. So the oxidation number of hydrogen is +1. So the total is +2. It's a neutral compound, so total positive charge must be equal to total negative charge. So the total negative charge equal to -2. You have 2 oxygen atoms with total -2, so each carry a -1 charge. And in this example, oxygen difluoride, according to rule number 2, F ion carry -1 in all its compound. So the charge for F is -1. Here you have 1 oxygen atom and 2 fluorine atoms. So the charge is -1 for fluorine. So the total is -2. It's a neutral compound, so total negative charge must be equal to total positive charge. So here the oxidation number of oxygen is +2. Again, for oxygen in all its compound, the oxidation number is -2 except these compounds. H2O2, so the oxidation number is -1 for oxygen, and OF2, the oxidation number of oxygen is +2. Rule number 5. The sum of the oxidation numbers for elements in a neutral compound equal 0. So if you have a neutral compound, the sum of oxidation number for all elements in this compound equal 0. Neutral compound means does not carry charge. So for example, H2O, HCl, and H3, OCl2, and so on. So in these compounds, total positive charge equal to the total negative charge. So when you add positive charge to negative charge, the total is 0. +2 with -2, the total 0. +2 with -2, the total 0. +1 to -1, the total 0. Rule number 6. the sum of the oxidation number for elements in a polyatomic ion equal to the charge of ion. For example, polyatomic ion means molecule that carry charge. An example, nitrate. It carry charge of -1. So what is the oxidation number of nitrogen in this compound? So this compound contains 1 nitrogen atom and 3 oxygen atoms. According to rule number 4, the oxidation number of oxygen equal -2. So here -2, -2 and -2. So the total is -6. So what is the oxidation number of nitrogen? It's a polyatomic ion. It carry charge. So the rule is the summation of the oxidation number for elements equal to the charge of ion. So when you add the oxidation number of nitrogen, which is unknown, to the oxidation number of oxygen, must be equal to the charge of ion, which is equal -1. So +6, +6. So the charge equal to 5. So here in this compound, the charge or the oxidation number of nitrogen is +5. Rule number 7. The oxidation number for the rest of elements depends on their group. So for example, group 1 carry +1, group 2 +2, group 3 +3, group 5 -3, group 6 -2, and group 7 -1. The last rule, the more electronegative element must have the negative charge. So for example here, if you have PCl3, which of these solutions the correct one? You have 1 phosphorus and 3 chlorine atoms. So phosphorus is in group 5 in the periodic table, so carry -3 charge. So here the total is -3. And what is the oxidation number of Cl? It's a neutral compound, so positive charge must be equal to negative charge, which is equal +3. You have 3 chlorine atoms with total +3, so each carry +1. Or you have 1 phosphorus and 3 chlorine atoms, So Cl is in group 7 in the periodic table. It carries -1 charge. So -1, -1, -1. So the total is -3. Because it's a neutral compound, so the total charge here is +3. So in the first one, the oxidation number of phosphorus is -3 and for chlorine is +1. And the second one, the oxidation number of phosphorus is +3 and chlorine is -1. Which of these the correct one? According to this rule, the more electronegative element must carry the negative charge. So chlorine is the more electronegative than, it has more electronegativity than phosphorus. So chlorine must carry the negative charge. So this is the correct solution. So to remember the electronegativity, the highest element in electronegativity is fluorine, then oxygen, then nitrogen, then elements in group 7, then elements in group 6, then elements in group 5, and so on. So chlorine is in group 7 and phosphorus is in group 5. So group 7 has more electronegativity than group 5. So according to this rule, the more electronegative element must carry the negative charge. So in this example, chlorine carry -1, so the total is -3. So the charge of phosphorus is +3. Now examples. One, H2SO4, sulfuric acid. So what is the oxidation number of sulfur? According to rule number 3, hydrogen. The oxidation number of hydrogen is +1, and according to rule number 4, the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. So here you have 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 sulfur and 4 oxygen atoms. So the oxidation number of oxygen is -2 and the oxidation number of hydrogen is +2. So here you have +2 and here unknown, you have to calculate it, and the total negative charge equal to -8. It's a neutral compound. According to this rule, the sum of the oxidation number for elements in a neutral compound equal 0. So when you add the oxidation number of hydrogen to the oxidation number of sulfur to the oxidation number of oxygen, the total must be equal to 0. So 2 minus 8 minus 6 equal 0. So x equal 6. So here in this compound, the oxidation number of sulfur is +6. Example 2, K2MnO4. So in this compound, you have 2 potassium atoms, 1 manganese, and 4 oxygen atoms. So what is the oxidation number of manganese? According to rule number 4, oxidation number of oxygen equal -2. And potassium is in group 1 in the periodic table, so positive 1. So here positive 2, and here unknown, you have to calculate it, and here the total is negative 8. It's a neutral compound, so the total equal to 0. So when you add 2 to the oxidation number of manganese to the oxidation number of oxygen equal 0. So 2 minus 8 minus 6 equal 0. So x equal 6. So here the oxidation number is positive 6. Example 3. Potassium chlorate. What is the oxidation number of Cl? So here you have 1 potassium atom and 1 chlorine and 3 oxygen atoms. So oxygen, the oxidation number for oxygen is negative 2, and oxidation number of potassium, it's in group 1 in the periodic table, so positive 1. So here positive 1, and here x unknown, you have to calculate it, and here negative 6. It's a neutral, so when you add the oxidation number for all elements must be equal to 0. So 1 plus x plus minus 6 equal 0. So 1 minus 6 equal minus 5 equal 0. So x equal 5. So here the oxidation number is positive 5. Example 4. N2O5. What is the oxidation number of nitrogen? So here you have 2 nitrogen and 5 oxygen atoms. Each carry negative 2, so the total is negative 10. And here unknown, you have to calculate it. So it's a neutral compound. When you add the oxidation number to each other, the total is 0. So x equal 10. You have 2 nitrogen atoms with total positive 10. So each carry positive 5. Example 5. What is the oxidation number of oxygen? According to rule number 1, oxidation number for element, one type of atom equal 0. So here oxygen, one type of atom, so the oxidation number is 0. Now example 6. PCl3. What is the oxidation number of phosphorus? You have 1 phosphorus atom and 3 chlorine atoms. So Cl is in group 7, it carry negative 1, so the total is negative 3. And here unknown, you have to calculate it. It's a neutral compound, so when you add the oxidation number to each other, the total is 0. So the oxidation number of phosphorus is positive 3. Seven. CS2. What is the oxidation number of carbon? C and 2 sulfur atoms. Sulfur is in group 6 in the periodic table, so carry negative 2. So here the total is negative 4. and here unknown, you have to calculate it. It's a neutral compound, so when you add to each other, the total is 0. So the oxidation number of carbon is positive 4. H2O2, what is the oxidation number of oxygen? So you have to memorize the exceptions. Here, oxidation number of oxygen in all its compound is -2 except H2O2. So in this case, the oxidation number of oxygen is -1. 9. Lithium hydride. Also, you have to remember the exception. When hydrogen bonded to metal, the oxidation number is -1. So here the oxidation number is -1. Now examples for polyatomic ions. What is the oxidation number of nitrogen? Here you have 1 nitrogen and 4 hydrogen atoms. The oxidation number for hydrogen is +1. So the total is +4. So what is the oxidation number of nitrogen? It's a polyatomic ion. It's an ion. It carries charge. So when you add the oxidation number to each other, the total must be equal to the charge of ion, which is equal +1. So when you add oxidation number of nitrogen to oxidation number of hydrogen, the total must be equal to the charge. So here the oxidation number equal -3. Now 11. Carbonate group. What is the oxidation number of carbon? You have 1 carbon atom and 3 oxygen atoms. So each carry -2. So here the total is -6. So what is the oxidation number of carbon? It's an ion. It carries charge. So when you add the oxidation number to each other, it must be equal to the charge of ion, which is equal -2. So when you add the oxidation number of carbon to oxidation number of oxygen, the total must be equal to -2. So X equal +4. So the oxidation number of carbon is +4. 12. NO2 minus 1. So here you have 1 nitrogen and 2 oxygen atoms. So the oxidation number of oxygen is -2. The total is -4. So what is the oxidation number of nitrogen? It's an ion, so the total must be equal to the charge of ion. So X equal +3. So in this compound, the oxidation number of nitrogen is +3. The last example, phosphate group. You have 1 phosphorus atom and 4 oxygen atoms. Each carry -2. So the total is -8. So what is the oxidation number of phosphorus? It's an ion. So when you add the oxidation numbers to each other, the total must be equal to the charge. So when you add the oxidation number to each other, so equal -3, +8. So the charge is +8. 5.